Welcome back. I'm Dr. B. Jyotirmayi, Associate Professor in Department of Chemistry of GRIET. Yes, our next session is on bonding in metals. Let us pause the video for 1 minute and imagine what type of bonding is present in metals. So this is a metal cluster or a crystal lattice where the bonding is between two identical metal atoms. Yes, some of you may have answered there is ionic bonding and some of you may have answered as covalent bonding. But in metals, identical atoms are bonded to several other metal atoms. If you go for the ionic bond is because of electrostatic attraction between positive and negative ions, that is between cation and anion. Ionic bonds are hard and brittle, but metals are hard and ductile and also malleable. So we can rule out the ionic bond in between two identical metal atoms. If you come to covalent bonding is because of sharing of electrons. All metals, they have relatively poor valence electrons. Therefore, covalent bond cannot be present between two metal atoms. It is further supported by the properties of ductility and malleability, where the covalent bond is directional in nature, but because of these two properties, which are non-directional, metallic bonding is non-directional in nature. Whereas covalent bonds join non-metals to non-metals, but metallic bonds are responsible for bonding between metal atoms. So, if you observe between two identical metal atoms, so we have to discuss the bonding between two identical metal atoms. Before going to that, let us have a look over the properties of metals. Metals are good electrical and thermal conductors. They conduct both heat and electricity. At the same time, they are opaque and they have high refractive power. They have high melting and boiling point. They are also good conductors of heat. And they have properties like ductility and malleability. That means they can be drawn into thin wires and can be hammered into sheets. They have high densities also. They have peculiar shine on the surface called metallic luster. All metals, most probably, they are hard and highly elastic, which can withstand high stress. Even they can form alloys with other metals easily, and these alloys can be solid solutions. Most metallic properties remain even when the metal is in liquid state. That is, for example, solution of sodium in liquid ammonia. So, in order to explain all these properties, the covalent bonding and ionic bonding can be ruled out completely, and different type of bonding exists between two identical metal atoms. Oh, this is an example of a luster of a bee in Chicago. It is also known as cloud gate, made up of 168 stainless steel plates welded together and is highly polished. It is being polished with liquid mercury. It measures about 33 by 66 by 42 feet and weighs about 110 short tons and 98 log tons. So this is a very good example for metallic cluster of metals. Metal crystal, all atoms in it are identical and these cannot be bound together as cations and anions. The simple metal crystal you can see here is just like an ionic crystal, but in a metal crystal all these are positive ions. In ionic crystal it will be one positive ion and one negative ion. So they are because of electrostatic interactions as we have said already. Therefore, metallic bond should explain the bonding between large number of identical atoms. Large number of identical atoms in pure metal and the bonding between widely different atoms in alloys. So there are three theories which can explain the bonding in metals. Free electron theory or electron gas theory. It is also known as electron pool theory. Second theory is valence bond theory or resonance theory. The third foremost important theory is molecular orbital theory or band theory. If you go for the electron gas theory or free electron theory, this theory was proposed by Drude in 1900 and Lorentz in 1916. So this theory is called Drude-Lorentz theory. According to this theory, metals comprise a lattice of rigid spheres. Metals are comprised as a lattice of rigid spheres, which are nothing but positive metal ions. So all the metal atoms will be as positive metal ions, and the positive metal ions are also known as kernels. And the valence electrons are dispersed or delocalized in between these two positive metal ions. So it appears that positive metal ions are suspended in a sea of electrons. It appears that positive metal ions are suspended in between a sea of electrons. There is cohesion due to electrostatic attraction between positive ion and the electron cloud. There is a cohesion due to electrostatic attraction between positive ion and the electron cloud. The valence electrons are delocalized and they do not confine to single metal. Electron C model can explain all the properties of metals like electrical and thermal conductivity, malleability, ductility. Since electrons are mobile, they are delocalized and they are not confined to any particular ion. They will flow through a wire towards a positive ion when voltage is being applied. But still, this theory has some limitations. For example, if you go for copper and bismuth comparison, both are supporting electron gas theory. Copper is 50 times better conductor than bismuth. Metals like sodium and potassium are very soft. They can be cut easily with a knife. But osmium is hard and it can even scratch glass. Electron C model is very good, but only qualitatively. For instance, it can be explained qualitatively by this theory that cohesive energy increases with the increasing number of valence electrons, but quantitative calculations are much less successful compared to the calculations for the lattice energy of ionic compounds. That is about electron C model. We'll go for the next theory, that is valence bond theory, which was proposed by Pauli. Metallic bonding is covalent in origin, and metallic structure involves the resonance of electron pair bonds between each atom and its nearest neighbor. A molecule or ions having such delocalized electrons is represented by several contributing structures, and they are called resonating structures or conical forms. If you go for lithium metal crystal, each atom is surrounded by 8 neighboring lithium atoms. The single valence electron is not sufficient to bond with 8 other lithium atoms. So, resonance of electron pair bond take place. So that is about valence bond theory. The true metallic structure, according to valence bond theory, is a mixture of all the many possible bonding forms or conical forms. The more possible structures they are the lower the energy. That's why the cohesive force which holds the structure together is large. But there are some limitations. It cannot explain the metallic state in liquid state or in solution. So before going to the last theory, there is a successful theory, that is a band theory or molecular orbital theory. We'll just have a look at this. We know what is an insulator, what is a semiconductor, and what is a conductor. The insulator is nothing but the band gap is large between valence band and conduction band, so there is no conduction. There is no transfer of electrons from valence band to conduction band. In semiconductor, this band gap is less. In conductors, this band gap is overlapping. How these band gaps, how these bands were formed, and the properties of all the metals were clearly explained in metallic theory, that is band theory. The electrons in a metal are considered to belong to crystal as a whole and not to individual or any pairs of atoms. Metallic bond results from the delocalization of free electron orbitals over all the atoms of a metal surface. So, you know how molecular orbitals are formed according to LCO method. When two atomic orbitals are combined, two molecular orbitals are formed. When n atomic orbitals combine, it leads to formation of n by 2 bonding molecular orbitals and n by 2 anti-bonding molecular orbitals. That is half of bonding and half of anti-bonding. So, as energy separation between various molecular orbitals is very small, they form energy bands, and this theory is called band theory. For example, if you take lithium crystal, lithium is of electronic configuration 1s2, 2s1, 2p0. It has one valence electron in its outermost orbit. If n number of lithium atoms are combined, they will form 3 energy bands. N number means, imagine there are 100 lithium atoms, they form 3 energy bands. So, one is 1s band. 1s band means if 100 1s orbitals combine, it leads to 50 bonding molecular orbitals and 50 antibonding orbitals. Since 1s2 is completely occupied, the band is completely filled, so it is non-conducting band. The second band is 2s band. Second band is 2s band with only one electron. This is half filled shell. Only one electron. So if n number of, for example, I imagine 100 number of lithium atoms. So it leads to the formation of 50 bonding molecular orbitals and 50 anti-bonding molecular orbitals. At the same time, the 50 bonding molecular orbitals, BMOs, they are completely filled, and 50 antibonding molecular orbitals are empty. 50 antibonding molecular orbitals are empty. At the same time, this is the 2s band. There is a 2p band. The energy gap between 2s and 2p is very less. They are appropriately of same energy. So there is a zone called overlapping zone. There is a zone called overlapping zone. So 2s band overlaps with the 2p band. At the same time, 2s band is empty. There are nothing in this. So this is a empty band. So if you go ahead, you can see 3 bands in lithium. One is 1s band, non-conducting band, 2s band, half filled band. So it is valence band. This is called valence band. And there is a completely empty band, that is 2p band, that is conducting band. This is valence band and this is conducting band. So we have like this. This is conducting band. So the gap between valence band and conducting band is called band gap. The highest unoccupied level is called Fermi level. So this is about the formation of a conducting band, valence band and non-conducting bands in molecular orbital theory. This is how some metals they behave as insulators if they have non-conducting bands, that is completely filled bands. Some metals they behave as semiconductors. They have a gap between two valence band conducting band is less. Some metals they behave as conductors. Most of the metals they behave as conductors because of these overlapping zones. This is about band theory.